Today, guys, we are getting fitted for the Toura MB iron, so you will see we are going to go through a fitting here at SGGT. So we know now you can start to buy clubs and just get club heads and then get them fitted after, maybe for your exact specs. Because if we've got a direct-to-consumer brand, sometimes we don't see them obviously have the options that you may want. So Lawrence is here today. He has got them all set up. So again, fantastic looking clubs.
Yeah, so obviously you've been able to provide us with the heads and stuff to put our fitting kit on it. If guys don't have that sort of, you know, a spare set lying around, then obviously we'll use the most equivalent and appropriate head to get their shafts right if that's what they want, that sort of retrofit. So obviously this is something we do unique for you. But yeah, we can still fit shafts and stuff off there. But yeah, we're going with these Toura MBs that we've built up for you. Raw finish on those, beautiful looking golf club. Yeah.
So where do we start?
So obviously we know what you currently play. You've got your Tacomos and stuff like that. So we know the sort of baseline of what you've got. You're playing that KBS shaft in there.
Yep.
So we'll get that built up in an appropriate blade head. We'll get the sort of weight balanced, swing weight right, and then we'll go from there. Okay.
Perfect. So the closest ones were the Cobras.
Yeah. So just looking at the sort of Toura heads and stuff like that, this is the closest one, just so that we can just get a little sort of read on what like a normal head would give us. So the Cobra King MB, just going to double check that we're on standard loft and lie.
Perfect. This is similar to what we did with Dave. Obviously, Dave came down here, mid-handicap golfer, had Tacoma 101T irons, but we put him in the head. It was a Titleist head, wasn't it? I believe it was the 150, would it have been?
150, yeah.
Yeah, so 150 again, and then we went to change those shafts in Dave's current irons because they perform just as good.
Yeah, really good. So we're just going to check where we are here with this, and then we're going to go through the Toura and see where we get to.
Premium golf balls, as always here. James has a death wish today. Good to go?
Mm-hmm.
Not bad strike, a little bit toey. James is committed to the cause here. I like your commitment, James. You're safe in the middle.
If you just go by the 150 board, you'll be safe.
Yeah, let's move that 150. Right.
Okay, a bit better that one.
Yeah, a little bit better. Still towards the toe. Toe again. At least I've got it on target this time. Straight at that 150.
And where would you say you miss typically as Chris? Like strike-wise?
Strike-wise is toey.
Toey.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried longer clubs?
I did. I think I used to the last set I got, it was maybe quarter of an inch max.
Okay. Nice. Right, so let's pop in the Toura head.
That's a bit better.
For me, it just helps me see what that sort of, a head and a product that I'm used to seeing, how that performs.
Yeah.
So that then we can see what the difference is and how it comes out with this particular model.
So did these come slightly? You adding loft or?
Just taking a little bit off.
Okay.
So you can get past me.
Got to help. Every little helps. Right.
Every little helps. That's what we need. It seems so far today. Must be this cold weather.
Yeah, it's warmer.
It was warmer 20
You got
minutes
more.
ago, right?
Yeah.
Just took a turn. Some of them feel nice and soft to start with. I didn't see that one, I'm not going to lie.
So just a little left. Good ball speed. Much better carry than what you've been having. Nice spin, good peak height. Good.
Perfect. So you've gone a little, what was the actual loft on these?
So knocked it down to 30. It was 31 as it came out.
Okay. consistent pattern there.
They sound incredible coming past me. Like.
So soft and such a good head.
Yeah, extremely soft there again.
Yeah, nice, very good.
Start there.
And is there anything in particular like in the bag that you struggle with, like shots wise?
Shots wise, if I try to play a draw, shot, it's hard to play, I would say.
Okay. What in terms of you overshape it or you just pull it or
just pull it?
Just pull it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. See, I find that one quite interesting because actually for a blade, where you've struck that, we haven't seen as big a drop-off as you would typically expect.
Yeah.
Right, that's only dropped a couple of miles an hour and you're still up in those mid 170 carries.
Yeah.
So yeah, very good. I like that. So
See,
just
that one felt a little bit more forgiving than the Cobra, I'd say.
did it.
Yeah, so from that toe strike.
So quite a heavy swing weight up at D7.
Oh, okay. Where would the standard be? Where would norm be with a 6-iron?
I mean, it can vary depending on player, right? And sort of the product that you put in the sort of the components that you use. I mean, you take someone like Bryson, who swing weights, he's got those 120 gram grips on, it's something like C3.
Right, okay.
Whereas, you then flip that into someone like Darren Clark, who plays D7, D8. So it can vary anywhere in the middle. It's about finding the one that gives you the most consistent strike.
James says D4 just because James has got D4. That's what he's trying to get out there. He's trying to prompt these questions from behind the camera.
I was trying to give you an answer.
Right. Okay.
I'm going to try something different straight off the bat. Okay, I'm going to go a little bit longer. And I'm going to drop you into the Acura TZ115. I think it's just trying to, build in and around that sort of mist profile for me. It's not whether we're going to find any speed or anything like that.
Yeah.
I just want to find whether we can get you a slightly better, more consistent strike pattern. So obviously making the club a little bit longer. If we want it to interact the same with the turf, we need to just flatten it off that little bit more.
Yeah. Instantly felt a lot better. I didn't see the ball flight, but...
So, better peak height than what you've been seeing. So we've gone up to 104, got nearly a 50-degree descent angle. We're up at mid 6,000 spin. So that shaft's just added a bit of spin, a bit more peak height, similar sort of ball speed, similar sort of carry, but because, like we've talked about before, we want to get the ball up there and stopping quickly, because as a good player, you can always bring it down through your own sort of swing.
Yeah. A lot more height.
And is that the problem that you get when you're trying it to draw?
Yeah.
Just a little bit more of a pull draw.
Pull draw basically, yeah.
Nice about that, again, typically pulls would go longer. It's not jumped on you at all.
No.
It's a very similar, consistent distance, similar sort of ball speed, peak height still nice and high, and still loads of spin on there. So still good. Try a couple more of that.
And again, do you find obviously a lot of people changing into different material in the irons as such?
I think you look at other sports, okay, and all sports have this technological movement towards a lighter, stronger material, like carbon, for example. So you see running trainers now have carbon plates in, F1 cars are all carbon, that sort of thing. It's only a matter of time before golf follows that trend.
Yeah.
30 years ago, no one thought that we'd ever play a carbon shaft in a driver. We'd all play steel.
Yeah, very true.
And now you wouldn't ever consider anything else.
No.
And I think we're bordering getting to that point with irons that it is going to be a more applicable option. You see more product coming into play, like the Axiom, this Acura, that LA golf shaft, where we've got these substantial heavier weights, these 120s that would be deemed a heavy weight for most golfers, in extra stiff, really firm products in carbon. So it gives you that alternative from playing, your bog standard steel, because you can do more with a carbon shaft in terms of changing weave patterns, thicknesses, multi-materials than you can do with a steel that has, you know, all you're doing is you're changing stepping patterns, and then you're either extruding them to give you your rifle shaft, or you're leaving them as stepped. So yeah, there's more you can do. I think we're probably not far off a world's top 10 player
going
a
full
set of graphite in.
Chris did it.
Who swings the needle more?
Probably Chris.
Not with shots like that. I struck that well.
Do you feel like it wants to turn a little bit more on you this than the other one?
I feel so there.
Yeah, it feels like it's just twisting a little bit,
Yeah.
maybe a little bit too. Okay.
Right, where are we going from here?
Right, so just go try something that might be a little bit more stable in the tip. So just go try the Fuji Axiom. So it has that Velocore tip that we all know and love in the Ventus. Again, keeping that same length profile that we've just tried, because strike pattern's been pretty good there.
Yeah, better.
Yeah, we've not seen as many toe strikes, right?
No.
That was nice.
Yeah, that felt better. Felt a lot heavier, that.
Yeah, so it's a little bit heavier in weight. It's also, the weight of the shaft is more down in the tip, so you may find that the swing weight increases a little bit. But yeah, good.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, another straight on top of the last one.
Yeah, it feels much easier, that.
Again, peak height still touching sort of like high 90s, still low 100s. Spin still up there close to 6,000. Angle of descent still nice and steep. So lots of stopping power, much better distance there. Slightly ahead of where James would be. And
I like to hear. It's probably stopped filming. Cut.
Just left the face open there a wee bit, but still centered strike.
Yeah. Better
Yeah,
strike.
lovely. So again, what we found with these two shafts, that Acra and now the Axiom, is strike has been a lot more central. That's going that little bit longer for you. And then we see here, you know, compared to there, we have broadened that sort of mist profile. That was just one where you left the club face open. I think the torque in the shaft as well, if we ignore that particular shot, you can see there, it's quite similar to where you were with the KBS. It's how you deliver it. So from there, let's have a look and see what we do. It's nice to see that length has brought that strike a little bit more central though.
Yep,
Still
and
nice
that's
and
half an inch, is it? Yeah.
yeah, so it's plus half on there. Right, so we're going to give the autoflex a go. Yeah, let's see how we get on.
Why shall I stand with this? Because I've seen you trying it this year.
At the back.
Yeah, I'll stand there.
Oh, now we're talking.
Lovely shot. Yeah, strike up, ball speed up. Does it feel manageable or just a bit wild?
Just a bit wild, but I mean, yeah, like I say, I flush both of those. I don't think I have control on where the ball's going, but well, 9.5 total.
Actually, it's surprising. It's coming out flatter than that 125X in the Axiom. So even though it feels very soft and malleable, it's coming out flatter flight and flatter spin than the Axiom. So it just shows how that different profile loads and how it's delivering that dynamic loft.
Where do we go?
So good, go into the Oban graphite shaft. Just go again, drop down that sort of shaft weight, see how we manage it.
What's this down to?
83. Just seeing what happens down at this level. Nice, good spin on that.
Yeah,
How did that feel weight-wise to you?
I like the feel of that.
Yeah, not too hard.
No, I think that was easy to work. I felt like I had more control on that.
Okay. Let me just go get that TV controller to get rid of that.
Sounds incredible.
Yeah, that feels miles better, that. 83 grams.
Shame. Oh, carry on.
181, that one.
Bag of money.
6,000.
That's nice.
Yeah, maybe not quite 70, but again, a lower ball flight there.
Working at peak height.
Yeah, again, it's just a bit flatter, isn't it?
75.
75, it was
So
close.
it's workable. And it's
Yeah.
gone.
And again, it's lost, what, 4 yards in carry?
Yeah.
Yeah, not a
2
big
yards
drop-off.
total?
Yeah, it might just be that, you know, it might just be a little bit too light potentially, that we lose a little bit of control.
I would say that's had the most control.
It's felt the most
Which is a
control.
worrying thing there.
Yeah,
I would say so,
something very different than what you used to playing though, weight-wise.
Yeah.
Right? Just from the feedback that you gave us on that last O-band shaft, we're just going to try that Axiom and dropping the weight down. You felt it was a little bit easier to swing,
Yeah.
a little bit more control. So dropping down that shaft weight, but we're just going to get that flex a little bit higher again.
Okay.
Absolutely love that.
Yeah, that launch pretty easy, that, isn't it?
Yeah, lovely. 6/8
nice.
spin as well, really nice.
Yeah, spins up, what, 1,000 there, quickly?
Yeah. Because like we've talked about in previous stuff, it's not about how far you hit it, because we don't want you to hit it too much further than where you already are, because it's just going to cause you more and more issues down the other end of the bag.
Yeah.
So anywhere between sort of that 175, 185 mark is good. And as long as that spin doesn't drop below sort of 5.5 and the height doesn't go below 90 feet, I think we're going to keep you in a good area.
Yeah.
Strike that really well.
Yeah. I'd say that one, again, if anything, slight pulse, it would drop the spin, but the spin's still well above 5,500.
Yeah, and it's still, you know, decent height, still landing steeper than 45 degrees.
Like it.
So a couple more. Tire yourself out.
Then go 4 iron.
Grip wise, what would you typically go?
Just standard Lamp King grip. No, not any more tape on it, just
Okay.
standard as you like.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah,
A lot more control here. I think that sort of stiffer tip section than what we had on that O-band shaft, just really helping you control the club face. Nice stripe pattern.
Yeah.
Good ball speed, good spin, good height. Everything's decent there. It's just, you know, that little bit of movement there is just where you're delivering the club face a little differently.
Yeah.
So, but, you know, when no one's a robot, so it's not that big a dispersion. Yeah,
No.
like that.
Perfect.
So what we'll do, we'll check it through the sort of four-iron, see what happens, how it comes through. So just going to check the 4-iron loft and lie.
Perfect. What kind of gaps do you want to see at this end of the bag? Obviously, I know lofts have changed quite a lot. 6-iron was 30.
Yeah, so we're in 22.5 here is where the standard is, which I don't think is too bad. We'll see how we get on with that, and obviously we can change it if we need to.
Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect. So like we know, guys, here at SGGT, you're going to be able to go through the 4-iron, go through the 6-iron, 8-iron and pitching wedge, because shafts can change. You can potentially need something different this end of the bag.
Yeah, and also vice versa. We may find that actually when we start going the other way, you might need to go into that 125 in sort of like the pitching wedge or the 8-iron, etc. So,
yeah,
you know, it may be that it works 6 and above, but not down in the short stuff.
Right, yeah. Better.
Okay, better ball speed.
Yeah.
Like for me, I'm always trying to find that sort of 8 to 10 mile an hour jump from where you are. So 126, 133. So it's not a million miles away. So yeah, shows that we're still working. For that sort of shot shape, a little bit of left to right, we'd always expect a margin more spin. So again, 4.9, not too bad. 95 feet of height, still landed at 45, just under 200 carry. So I imagine if we squared that up a bit more of a centered strike. A little high in the face again.
Yeah. But even there, slightly there, it's not lost a lot either, has it?
No, and for a blade, right? We're not
Yeah.
talking like a hollow body product or, you know, a cavity back. It is a solid blade. For you to only have a 10-yard drop off with a, you know, a shot that's missed the middle of the club by nearly a centimetre.
That's missed it by more than a centimetre.
And this may be, you know, as we've discussed, this might be the reason why you might go into more of that CB head that Toura do as well.
Yep.
Right, looking at it, just giving you that little bit more forgiveness, especially through the top end, and you won't really lose much through the bottom end, I don't think, either. But I think it might just be that it's such a small blade, right? Yes, it does not lose you a huge amount of distance, but would we be better off going into more of a cavity back just to keep that yardage up and that consistency up?
Which is exactly what I'm currently in.
Okay, so we're now trying the 8-iron, going to see whether we need to change the sort of shaft through the set here. Just going to get this one a little bit more upright than where we are.
And that's back to the 105.
Yep, staying in that 105X.
That does look good behind the golf ball though, with the rust on the face.
It's lovely, that.
Rust
Yeah, that raw finish is really nice.
Canadian Tour.
So again, that's a good ball speed because what we're looking for is that drop down 10 miles an hour because we jump in 2 clubs. Yeah. Nice, that lovely amount of spin. Nice height still up at 90 feet.
Let's strike.
At 155.
Again, the peak arch is one of the things that most people don't understand, isn't it? It's pretty going to be consistent throughout the bag.
Yeah, so what you don't get is people think they hit the pitching wedge higher. Well, they don't. They just hit it the same height but closer. So the perception is it's higher. Actually, you're trying to achieve every club at a similar sort of height. So for us, we're trying to get you somewhere between 95 and 105 most of the time. So in and around 100 feet. And with that, we can see there that 8-iron coming down at 52 degrees. Very steep, 7,500 revs of spin, 155 carry. It's great, right? It's doing all the right things.
Yeah.
And again, it's had a substantial enough drop off that we don't have to go, okay, well, what are we going to do through the really short stuff, Chris? Do we need to manipulate those wedges?
Yeah.
We don't want that in a fitting. We actually want the function to work properly. Each club just needs a yardage. It doesn't matter whether you have to pull a 7 or an 8-iron out. You just need it to be consistent and flying properly.
Yeah. I like it.
Mega. And doesn't feel too light at all.
No. Feels a lot different to obviously when it was the 125 you put me in, and then just going down to 83 felt probably better, and then this is a nice happy medium in there.
Yeah, it should still feel very stable enough with the Velocore tip and being an extra stiff as well. Should still feel very, very stable.
Yeah, it certainly does down the bar. I feel like I have a lot more control on flight. And we saw with the 4-iron, like James likes to do when you're not in here, he's messing around with trying to get that flight down. You can still do that.
Yeah, good. Can you still do that with the 8-iron? Because obviously, you know, when you're out on your travels and you want, you know, playing a bit of a links course and you've got maybe 145, 150 for a par 3.
Can we do it? Yes.
So again, you've not lost that control to still find the middle of the club.
And that's that 145 number, drop down to 75. So
yeah, so again, you have that ability to take 25, 30 feet of height off,
yeah,
and maintain a good distance, sensible spin. So it's still going to react nicely on the green when it comes in that little bit flatter and shallower.
Yeah,
yeah, like that.
Me too.
Finally, just getting onto that pitching wedge. Again, like I said, best thing about what we offer is the fact that we can check throughout stages of the set. So this is the pitching wedge. Again, going with that Axiom 105, just checking the line loft here for you. Just making sure we don't go too weak.
Oh, yeah. What's it come as standard?
48.
48. Okay. So you can certainly get wedges down at what, 42 now?
Yeah,
43, 42?
Yeah, some of those sort of really low centre of gravity game improvement products can come out quite strong.
Yeah.
Lovely looking iron, that.
Yeah, look at that. Right.
So again, we're looking for that drop off in distance. So coming down from sort of like 110, 112 ball speed, we want to probably see it closer to like 100, maybe 104 at most. How soft's that?
It is ridiculously soft.
Lovely shot. Yeah, so there's that sort of 103, a little bit out the heel. Not too worried about that because you've closed the club facer margin on that. But again, sort of mid 120s carry.
Peak height 100.
Again, still hitting that 100, but like we talked about previously, it's just that perception of it being closer to you that makes people think that it goes higher. It doesn't.
Yeah.
Like if anything, that's maybe a fraction lower than the 6-iron, but it's just the 6-irons out there at 170 odd compared to 120.
Yeah, and I bet there'll be a lot of people watching this who just have always thought the forehand has to go lower, so they start to lean on it. Well, it goes as high as the pitching wedge, but like we say, it's over the distance of that shot. You need it to be consistent, especially for the landing angle as well.
Yeah, definitely. The land angles, you know, that sort of that extra bit of control that you can add without having to always rely on spin, because sometimes the greens aren't that receptive. And if you have that trajectory control as well as the spin, you're almost hedging your bets on getting that ball to stop nice and quickly. So yeah, over 50-degree land angle, that's nearly 54, 9,500 spin, 100 foot of height. Yeah, but I think we're pretty good top to bottom going with the same sort of shaft for you through the set there.
Yep, and just maybe the CB in the top end.
Yeah, CB top end or maybe through the bag, depends on how we want the balance there.
Perfect.
All right?
Yes. Well, thank you very much, Lawrence. So that is a fitting of, again, shafts, mainly getting the right shaft to go in these Toura heads. So we will be getting the Toura irons out on the golf course. You will see the CBs coming up next. But Lawrence, as always,
Chris,
thank you very much.
Appreciate your time.
And guys, we'll see you again later in the week.